Right then, pick and mixers, welcome to Bill and Ben's Scrapyard. Now today we're going to make a curry, but before we make the main course we're going to make some starters using a little bit of leftover lentil and minced beef chilli that's been in the fridge for a day or two. Let's just make sure it's alright. Yeah, that's alright. It looks horrible but smells nice. And we've got some onions, which you can see have seen slightly better days, a little bit of garlic, and believe it or not, a special ingredient, beer. So before I show you what we do with the beer, I need to chop these onions and mix it in with the mince so that we can start to make the starters. And to do that, what I have to do first of all is get my chopper out. Okay, so the onions are done. They go in a bowl, and then to that we add the mince. Oh. There we go, and mix that together. Into that we're going to add some chickpea flour, now unlike the pakora pancakes that we made earlier, we want this mixture to be quite stiff because we're going to roll it into balls. And to give it a little bit of extra flavour, I'm going to add some spice mix, which is a mixture of, oops, I'm spilling it, which is a mixture of black pepper, fennel seed, coriander, fenugreek seed, star anise, cumin seed, chili flakes, and a few other interesting bits and spices. I think there's even a cardamom in there somewhere. And what we do is we just pop that in a coffee grinder, and what we end up with is something that looks like that. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in there, not too much because it's quite hot. Don't forget we've already got some chilli in the meat as well. If you could smell it, it absolutely smells fantastic. Always better to keep your spices whole and then grind them just before you use them. Now this is getting a little bit too stiff to work with, so at this stage in the game I'll show you what the beer's for. Here we've got the special ingredient for today's recipe, which is a can of Tetley's smooth ale. You can use any kind of beer, but I particularly like this one for this job. So it's a cream flow, and so what we need to do, we'll first pour it in a glass. There we go. And then what we need to do is just leave it a while for the head to settle. Not my head, the head on the beer. I'll just come back a bit there. So we'll leave it for the head to settle, and then this makes all the difference to this recipe, because what we do then is we take the beer, we drink it. Ah, can't beat it on a sunny afternoon. So we've got the pan nice and hot. Just going to take a little bit of this stuff. You can hear it crackling. If you wet your hands, it makes it easier to roll into little balls like this. In they go. Just getting it hot enough for the flour to bind it together. Just let them settle. They'll carry on cooking as they cool down, and then you can either eat them cold with the salad, or you can pop them in microwave and warm them up again and serve them as a warm snack. There are the savoury meatballs done. I'm just going to pop the top back on these now to make sure that we don't want any vermin or flies or anything getting in there, because we're going to munch on these later. So that's the first lot of starters done. Now we're going to make some alternatives to go on the plate with a little bit of salad, and all we're going to do is make what we call mushroom pakoras. As you can see, I've got some nice chestnut mushrooms there, and we're going to do something interesting with these as well. And for this we need another special ingredient. No, not beer this time. It's actually lager, and the way that we use the lager is to take the top off and drink it. Ah, yes, just the ticket. Into a mixing bowl, we'll put some more of our gram flour. Yeah, you can even make bread with this stuff. I haven't tried it yet, but maybe we can do that for another programme. Different kind of spice this time, which is a red curry spice. Basically it's chili, paprika and a few of other things. Add some water. That's a gorgeous colour. There we go. That's done. And it's just a case of dipping the mushrooms, dropping them into the oil. Save all these little scraps as well, because that's like scraps you get at fish and chip shop, only much nicer. So I had a little bit of batter left, and I thought, well, let's just do a pakora equivalent of onion rings. So all I've done is put some onions in like that. We'll drop them in the oil. Waste not, want not. These are going to be lovely. You've never had scraps like that in a chip shop, and they are the perfect accompaniment for San Miguel. I've just had a text from someone who said it's alright doing all this pakora stuff, but can you make some spam fritters? Well, I've mixed up a little bit more of this batter, so I suppose this is where once again I should have cleaned it first. Get my chopper out. So as you can see, I've given my chopper a good rub down, and this is a block of specially prepared American meat. In other words, spam. So what we're going to do is, yeah, I bet you didn't think I had any of that in my cupboard, did you? No, right, well, it just goes to show, doesn't it? So all I'm going to do is chop this up into small bite-sized pieces, and then the process is just the same. Don't do this if you're on a diet. If you scoffed all this, you'd be as fat as a house. You'd be fatter than I was before I lost all my weight.